Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's podcast. Our guest of today is Greg, and he's the CEO at Sales Nexus. And yeah, Greg, why don't you tell a little bit more about yourself and what the company is doing?
Sure. Yeah. Well, thank you, Joey, for having me on. I'm excited to be here. So excited to talk. Sales Nexus is a CRM and marketing automation platform. We've been working with medium-sized businesses for 20 plus years, helping them reach new customers and make more revenue from the customers that they have. Right. And we got started because I was a sales manager and had to use tools like this to try and manage my sales team. And I wasn't very happy with the options that I had. In fact, back then when we got started, Salesforce had just come on the market. And, it was nice because they were, if you remember, they were the first cloud-based enterprise application. That was cool. We got a lot of benefit out of that, but it just didn't have the little detail things that salespeople really need to be effective, and to make it flow the way they work and the way they think. And that's what we wanted to build with Sales Nexus.
Love it. And that's pretty interesting what you're saying. Like, we're in the market for more than 20 years. And it's funny, personally, myself, I'm 29 years. When I was 9 years old, you guys were already been around. That means like you got
and the world has changed so much since then. When we launched, there was no iPhone. And that was really a big part of our go-to-market strategy originally. We actually built mobile apps for the Palm, which was the handheld mobile device that was most popular back then. This is before iPhone, before BlackBerry, with the idea being, hey, if salespeople are out and about meeting customers, it needs to go with them. We built all these apps for the Palm, and then the iPhone came around and Palm just stopped mattering at all.
And it's funny because you guys been around for so long. I guess you experience all the hypes, and then some of the hypes survive, and then you kind of build onto something next.
Yeah.
And like towards the market, because I think what you guys like are doing is very interesting. We talked a little bit before, and for which specific company is this like most interesting? What you guys are doing? Is it like anyone or specific on certain types of companies? Like, could you elaborate on that?
Yeah, sure. I mean, mostly we work with B2B sales teams. That could be folks in the mortgage industry. We do a lot of business there. Could be folks in the real estate, mostly commercial real estate, where they're selling, leasing office space to businesses. But it also could be very technical industrial sales teams where they're selling manufactured machines and parts for machines to go into a big billion-dollar manufacturing facility. But the common theme is a sales team where the relationship with the customer is really important. You're going to sell something that's very expensive. There has to be a high degree of trust, or you're going to sell a lot of things over a long time to the same customer. So same thing, you have to have a customer that really trusts you. That's where, from my personal experience, that's where you had to have really good salespeople, the people that really master the craft of building those relationships. And that's where our tool really shines, is helping you really manage a strong relationship with a customer.
Let's say I'm a sales rep, right? Let's say, or someone is a sales rep, and they are pretty good in what they're doing. What you're saying, they're mastering the craft. And then they're using your tool. If you like, let's say, specific tool, right? The person is going to call someone. In which ways could they help you? Could your tool help them towards like building that relationship which you're talking about?
Well, if you just think about in your own personal life, building a relationship with someone that you just met, could be at a cocktail party or a business function, whatever. The way you don't build a very good relationship by telling them all about yourself. You build a good relationship by asking them questions about themselves and demonstrating interest. And that's true in business sales as well. And so one of the most fundamental things that our system does is it lets the customer, our customer, the business, lay the system out so that the questions that they really need to ask their customers are right there, front and center. And you can, at a glance, you can see which ones do I already know the answer and which ones have I not yet asked, or I haven't gotten an answer. It helps the salesperson. They're busy, they're nervous sometimes, they're distracted. Helps them really focus in on, okay, here's what I really got to talk to this customer about today, and kind of guides them through that conversation. Now I have the answer to this question. The next logical question is this.
Yeah, I love what you're saying, because the thing is, I've got experience with it as well. If you're having a conversation, like sales conversation, and you don't have a clear structure, or you might lose it. Like if you have something which you know works, which has a proven concept, I think it does give a sales rep a lot of confidence in the process.
Yeah, you get it's easy to get distracted. The customer unconsciously will do a lot to distract you and get you off the right track.
Yeah.
For instance, they'll just immediately they'll ask you, well, what does it cost? Right? And once you answer that question in a lot of sales situations, you've already lost, especially in a business long sales cycle kind of a situation where they already have a supplier and you're trying to displace the current supplier. They're just, are you going to save me money or not? No. Okay. Well, I don't want to, I'm not interested anymore. Where really what you were trying to do is show them I'm offering a more valuable solution. It may not be cheaper, but it's more valuable. You're not going to make that sale by talking about price.
Or else they just think about the cost instead of thinking about like what kind of value it can bring.
Right. No.
And you guys are using, I think that you were mentioning there's like an interesting launch coming up, right?
Yeah, we have a big launch coming up very soon before the end of the year. We'll be beta testing here even in October. And we've just rebuilt the entire application from the ground up and really baked AI into the whole process. It's super exciting. I mean, it's just, we're still even learning ourselves what can be done with the AI. Now that once you give it all of your customer data, there's just so many amazing things that it can do for you. You know, simple examples like we're talking about. I'm a salesperson. I have my 20 customers that I sell this particular product to every month. They place a new order. I have a long time relationship with those customers. But there's probably 20 more customers in my CRM that might be buying some other product from my business. And I just never thought about telling them about this second product. Now the AI will find those for me and say, here's 20 more customers that you should sell the same thing to, and put them on a automated messaging sequence and warm them up for me and all of that stuff. And just happens automatically. It's just so cool.
Amazing. So in your system, it kind of spots the opportunities which are there based on interactions you had with your customers. That's super. Yeah, very interesting. And based on AI, you guys are like, there's a lot of AI coming into your service as we speak with the new launch coming on. And then my question to you is, because with AI, there's been a lot of said about it and a lot of things they're saying which is going to happen in the future. Like, where do you see AI going in the next 2 to 3 years?
2 to 3 years, probably. It's honestly, I don't think the landscape's going to change a whole lot. In other words, there'll be a lot of solutions like us that update their application to include a lot of AI. There'll be more and more adoption of the chat GPT type of just having that little assistant off to the side to help you do whatever you do. There's a lot of stuff related to media that's it's getting pretty amazing and powerful and kind of scary. But I think that in the business world, what we're all going to end up needing to do, especially in the case of what we do, CRM, which is it's your information that your business owns about your customers. This is highly confidential information that you do not want anybody else to have access to. I think what's going to evolve is in those kind of situations, you're going to have solutions emerge that allow you to own your own AI for your business. And that becomes a strategic asset as a part of the business. When you're exiting, you're selling your business. You're not just selling your customers and your revenue and your business processes, but you're also selling this AI that does all this stuff for you. That's really, number one, it's confidential and proprietary, and it's learned about your business and how you work.
Yeah, very nice. And you've been in a business for quite a long time, as you said in the beginning of the podcast. And during your business and during all the years, like you've experienced probably a lot of lessons, a lot of challenges which you overcome. And what are some of the main challenges or some of the challenges you have faced during growing the business? And there's been quite a lot, something which just kind of pops up into your mind right now. And how did you overcome it?
Well, I mean, in the business, it's been a long time and I've learned a lot of lessons the hard way. All of the normal things that any business owner has to wrestle with, how to hire good people, how to manage a team, all of that. Those have been fascinating things to get good at. And those are the kind of things that you can apply to your personal life as well. For the rest of my life, I will be better at working with other people because of what I learned as a leader. But in terms of challenges for the business, the biggest thing that we've always wrestled with is we're a very small player in a massive, massive multi-billion dollar market up against multi-billion dollar competitors. And we do well. We hold our own. We steal their customers away on a regular basis, and we keep them much longer than our competitors do. But marketing, in digital marketing in particular, against those much richer competitors, they can just outspend us. That's always a challenge. Always, we have to, you show me 5 digital marketers, guys that maybe have been doing it for 10 years, and they have a lot of experience and expertise. Probably only one of them has enough expertise to really get down into the weeds enough for us to help us be successful, because it just takes that little extra bit of expertise to find those little niches where we can separate ourselves from everybody else who's spending $1,000 a month on their Google Ads campaign.
And I also love what you're saying. Like you're spending in a market, there's a lot of competition. That's also what you're saying. You learn so much, which you can also, in the end, apply in your personal life. And what you're saying, because like there's so much competition, which is like it can be challenging, but at the same time, you get forced towards what you're saying to really dive into like how can we improve our own value? Right? We can serve our customers better, and we can really grow because there's so much competition. It really enforces you guys to also grow and be in your A game.
Yeah, I mean, we, of course, we're a software company, so we always have our own great ideas about how to improve the software.
Yeah.
And our customers have a lot of great ideas, and we have to take all of that and distill it down and prioritize and all that. Just as much, if not more, is coming from the marketplace. Our competitors are innovating also, and we have to
Yeah.
keep up with the Joneses, as they say.
And talking about this, like, what are some of the ways or some of the channels you guys are using to acquire new customers?
I mean, we mainly do digital advertising, Google Ads, Facebook, LinkedIn. Historically, we've done a lot of educational content type stuff, and we've done really well with video on YouTube and things like that related to that. So, having as long a career in sales as I do, I'm able to teach customers about the best practices of sales and sales management as much as I am about how to use our software. That effort always works pretty well for us because what I find is a lot of businesses that jump into a CRM, they're hoping for the software to solve what's really a training or expertise problem. And it can to a degree, but only if you plan it correctly.
And this is what also makes you guys unique, because what you're doing is not just a CRM where you can see all your leads and everything is like really there. No, it's not just that. It's like the sales expertise you're having as well, which is super unique in the market.
Yeah, in fact, one of the things that's coming in our new version is the system, the AI will automatically recommend training videos and other content for each sales rep based on their behaviors. If they're making a lot of calls, but they're not setting a lot of appointments, they're going to get a video that shows them how to be effective in setting appointments. But if they're making a lot of appointments, but not closing deals, they're going to get a different video. And the sales manager gets data about all of that so they can really now help educate and raise the game of their sales team just by using the CRM.
Very nice. And also like it makes the process so much easier, because then when you're having sales rep, the main thing is, yeah, you have to have good sales reps, but the main thing, are they open to learn? Because if you're providing all this value and everything is just there and they're open to learn, there's no way they're not going to grow.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's in today's market, salespeople know that they have to be innovating all the time, but they're also not highly technical normally. You have to make it easy. You just got to say, here, do this now. And if you're adding value, giving them some ideas that they can use in their next conversation with the customer, then they're all over.
Yeah, amazing. And during your lessons, during what you've learned in the last like 20 years, even more than that, because there's a lot of entrepreneurs watching this podcast right now. And I think you have a ton of experience. And in all the experience you're having, like what's one thing, if you're standing in your shoes right now with all the knowledge you're having, you would do differently if you put yourself if you put yourself back in time?
There's a lot of them. I mean, just tactically speaking, I would say we made a bad decision by choosing to focus so much on the mobile app part of our application in the beginning. Because, like I said earlier, the market changed and we had wasted a lot of our initial capital to build something that we ultimately didn't get to monetize. That was our biggest early sort of strategic mistake. Just sort of personally, I think I have learned the hard way that you have to focus on hiring the right people. And it's so hard for me anyway to say no to hiring someone because there's a job that needs to get done rather than saying, I'm going to wait and find the right someone. That was a hard lesson to learn. And I wasted a lot of time and money doing it. But now it's like there's a phrase that you hear people say all the time, hire slowly, fire quickly. I'm
Yeah.
a big believer in that, at least the hire slowly part.
It makes sense. And I think you can apply this also in other areas of your life. If you do something, it has to be whatever you're doing. Let me know how you think about this. It has to be like a 100% yes. And if you do something and it doesn't really feel good, you hire someone, but you just need to get the job done. If it's not a full, like 100% yes, it's going to translate in certain consequences for your business.
For sure, yeah. And it's very tough as a new entrepreneur. You're forced to make so many decisions that you've never made before. And you're just kind of ignorant and you don't have that real confidence that you're referring to about anything. I was lucky. I had a mentor when we first started that was tremendous in helping with those decisions. I think that's a really smart thing for an entrepreneur to do is go find a mentor that's been there and done that. So you can just have a reality check for those moments like you're referring to.
Yeah. If you're growing and especially as an entrepreneur, because if you're just working as a job, right? Like it's not, you can just do your task and that's it. But if you're an entrepreneur, there's like so much responsibility. In this responsibility, there's so much more. Maybe you can say it's pressure, right? Even then it's more important to have the right people around you, which can make you be in the right mindset in moments of pressure. What you're saying, like have a mentor around you.
Yeah, or like for me, it's always accounting. That's the one thing that I just have no patience for. I'm not interested in it, all the bookkeeping stuff, but little decisions that you might make in a quick meeting. How should we code this expense? And you make a quick decision. And then a year later, you're trying to run your books and do your taxes or raise money or whatever else. And that comes back and bites you.
Yeah. And if you have like, let's say Harry Potter and you have like a magic wand, Harry Potter style. And with this magic wand, you could solve any problem. Like with a finger snap in your business right now. What would you choose with this like Harry Potter magic stick?
Interesting. Well, I mean, right now I probably would say just to get our new version finished and out into the world because we've worked really hard on it and it's going to be so amazing. I just can't wait to share it with other people. But beyond that, I would say a little bit more long term. I'd say I want to, like you asked a great question earlier, what's the AI world going to look like in 3 to 5 years? I want to get past the next 3 to 5 years because I think so many people are so ignorant about how AI really works that everyone's a little bit misled about what's coming down the pipe. There's a lot of fear about it, a lot of confusion. I think it's AI and so it is different, but at the end of the day, we're going to look back on it and know that this was just the early days, just the same way when the internet was invented or the iPhone was invented. People had all kind of predictions about what was going to happen. And here we are now, years later, and we're a lot more educated about what it can and can't do, right? And what the best practices are in your business. I think, like I mentioned earlier, people just don't know that confidentiality and AI is going to become a massive thing. I mean, if you just think about the lawyers that are sitting out there waiting to file liability suits based on sharing confidential information with an AI, it's going to be insane. People are going to need to solve that problem. And so I want to get past the next few years so we can then the AI magic wand can really be waved around.
Yeah, and I love what you're saying. Like some people are afraid of it, and think with every big thing in life, people are afraid, and you only have the option. Do you actually embrace it, or like are you afraid of it? And if you're afraid of it, you're gonna miss out because there are people who can embrace it and take the opportunity when it's there. And you're also mentioning there's gonna be the launch, which you're very excited about. Do you know like the exact time frame which the launch is gonna be there to share with our with the people who are watching this podcast?
We will be launching our betas by the end of October. How soon we get out of beta, I'm not 100% sure yet, but I'm confident in saying that we'll be launching sometime in December, before the end of the year.
All right, cool. And you already talked about it briefly, but what are some of the main goals for the next 6 to 12 months, which you really want to work towards?
There's a lot of great ideas that we've had about the product that we have to put on the back burner so we can get the first version out. There's a lot of that. But most importantly, it will be okay, now we have real people using the product, giving us feedback, and we'll need to be able to take that feedback and implement solutions and ideas based on that very quickly. In my mind, if we can do that well, then everything else takes care of itself.
Very nice. So kind of learning from all the people you are serving and improving your own product along the way.
Yeah. It's amazing how when you get a good user group engaged where they're really talking to you and speaking honestly, both the good and the bad. It's amazing how quickly it can become clear. Okay, here's the, short list of 5 things that if I just fix those or improve those, that's tremendous leverage to grow the business.
Yeah, and for the people who are watching it, I think there are a lot of people who are watching it right now. They are entrepreneurs and they have like maybe not have the experience as you have. And if you would give advice to these entrepreneurs, just something they can take away from this podcast, just one thing they can take away and learn from it today, what would you give to them?
Just dream big. Whatever you think you're going to try and do it bigger. Don't scale it back because you don't have enough money or you don't have enough time or enough resources or whatever, or you're just afraid to take a big swing. Just take the big swing. That's how you may end up with a smaller thing because reality slaps you across the face, but it almost never blows up into something big when you start off shooting for something small. It's much more likely that if you shoot for something very big, you're going to end up with something in the middle somewhere. Just think big.
I love what you're saying. And there's this saying, right? Like reach for the stars, because if you reach for the stars, you're gonna end up at a nice place. If you think big, just think like as big as possible, something which really inspires you. It forces your brain to connect to think in different ways. There's just different thought patterns going on. And if you think in a small way, you don't see the opportunity when it's there. Because your mind is just is just limited. If you think in a way which is limited, you're gonna attract. You always will attract limited opportunities if you will think small.
Well, and especially in tech now, there's so much capital out there that raising money, it's really more a function of how big do you want to dream. And then secondly, with AI, the creation of the product itself is so much more dynamic and fast and everything else because the coders can do a lot of it with AI. Just the possibilities are it's all accelerating at an accelerating rate, as they say.
Very exciting times where we live in right now. For the people who are watching, what are the ways they can connect with you or the company?
SalesNexus.com is the best place. And then, I'm on LinkedIn, Craig Klein. I'm on Twitter or X, Craig Klein. Those are great places to connect with me directly.
All right, Greg, thanks so much for being on the podcast. I make sure to put all the links in the description down below. Everyone who's watching the podcast, make sure to check it out. And yeah, thanks for watching and see you in the next episode.